Peace and blessings and namaste to all light warriors, workers, and everything in between. It is I, Sophie, today, and I have a brief message, and this is dealing with the collective. And some of us are having issues with control. Okay, we want to control people, we want to control places, we want to control situations in our lives. We want to make sure that we're in control of every aspect that is surrounding us. And I am here to inform you, dear ones, it's impossible. It is. But before we even get into that, I first want to address where the need of control comes from. All right. Now, typically, when you are an adult and you figured out that I have some serious control issues, okay? There's something going on. I have some serious control issues. And hopefully while you're in Scorpio season and everything is being reflected and everything, and you're seeing yourself, okay? You're seeing yourself, and you're also experiencing whatever karma that you had to experience, and you're also cleaning up, and some are going through dark nights of the soul, some are going through transformations. Like, it's a lot that's going on right now, and it is very necessary. But while you are in this season, are you paying attention? Did you figure out if you are one who has an issue with control? All right. So people who typically have issues of control, this is stemming from the fact that you felt unsafe or unprotected during your childhood. Pay attention to me. When we are children, right? You see God in your parents. You see God in your caretakers, right? Because let's be honest, mother is God to the lips of a baby. Okay? It's where they're getting their nurturing and all of that stuff, right? So you are completely and totally dependent when you're young. So when something bad happens to you from somebody that you felt like should have made you feel safe, should have made you feel secure, okay? You have given over your power to somebody else, okay? Because you're young, you can't really govern yourself. So you've given away your power to somebody else, and whoever it is that you've given your power to either abused it, neglected, was careless with it, didn't understand, but some kind of way you felt like your security was stripped from you. Okay? You trusted somebody, you loved somebody, okay? You were self-assured in that, and you were failed. So what happened psychologically after that? Your vow, I'll never be put in that position again. Okay? I am going to always be in control of my own life, my finances, other people, and anything in my circle of influence. I want to be the one in control now. Why? Because I don't trust anybody else with my spirit, with my soul, with my heart. Okay? So you find yourself trying to control every narrative. But what comes with controlling behavior? Control and manipulation go hand in hand. Pay attention, because this is something that you might have to clean. Okay? I had to. I definitely had to. All right? Because I'm one of the ones that had to suffer through this. And I was one of the ones that had an issue with releasing control or letting anybody too close to me. All right? We protect ourselves when we're damaged, when we're wounded. Okay? Now, here's what I want to say to you, though. You feel like if you release control, okay, and turn it over to the divine, that some kind of way you're going to lose sense of self. Change the way that you think. Okay? If you are a divine masculine or a divine feminine, you're already partnered with the divine, okay? And you have already contracted based off of your own free will on what role you're going to play here on this earth. So now when you're submitting to the divine, what you're really doing is submitting to your higher purpose. All right? Understand, releasing control to the divine is not the same as releasing control to people. Okay? The divine will always have your highest purpose and best interest at heart. All right? People may not. All right? But who do you trust? Really, ask yourself that. Do you really trust the divine? I'll give you a moment to think about that. When I was young, I came from a lineage of firsts with the women in my family. I come from a lineage of very strong, powerful women. Okay? They were psychology professors. Okay? My aunt was Florida A&M. You know, they were retired military. My grandmother was the first black sergeant. Okay? I come from a whole line of firsts. Okay? I have a history of being the first black woman to do this or that. All right? So, we already was raised headstrong. All right? And I remember when I was young, my grandmother was cooking in the kitchen, and we kind of grew up where you had to get the hell out the kitchen. Like if my grandmother was cooking something and I was a little girl and I walked in there and I'm like, what you doing? She said, get out of the kitchen. Okay? And then one day I walked in there and I said, Grandma, can you teach me how to cook? And my grandmother said, I'm not raising you to be submissive to no man. Pay attention. Why did she say that? Well, my grandmother had a history of abuse from men physically, passed down to my mother physically, passed down to me. Okay? I will say, I have never, ever, ever been in a domestic violent situation in a relationship. I am glad that I can say that because I don't believe in putting my hands on people and I don't want nobody putting their hands on me. All right? And I don't cause scenes. All right? But that was my way of trying to control the situation too. Okay? I don't like to be embarrassed. So I come from this lineage of very strong, independent women. All right? Independent women. So when I had to go through my journey, I had my nose up in the air when it came down to trying to be balanced with a masculine. I did. I had my nose up in the air. Okay? Because I witnessed in my younger days what was going on. Okay? So if I was going to get into a relationship, I needed to control that narrative so I didn't get hurt. All right? It's the same thing with my businesses. Okay? My finances, all of those things. All right? And I'm not saying that it's wrong to look at and study your finances. You need to do that. All right? I'm talking about the people that need to control the finances, that need to control the relationship, that needs to control where their life is going. Do you not understand that the vantage points that you are seeing is not equal to the higher vantage points? All right. So some things you might not be able to see when God is telling you or the divine is telling you that it's time to do this or it's time to do that. When I put so much effort into anything that I am creating and I put my soul in it, my spirit in it, my essence and all of that, and then I am told I have to leave that behind and start something new, do you think I was okay with that? I was not. And I will buck up against these things. But what I did not realize was when I was bucking up against the divine, the purpose in my life, I was bucking up against self because this was what I wanted to do. So when I surrender and take my hands off it and say, okay, where do you need me? Then and only then was I able to see all of these things start to come in, all of these opportunities starting to come in because I let go. I didn't need to control the situation anymore. But for those of you who are struggling with this, you need to remember this one thing. This is so important for you. Your pain is not your identity. Okay? I'll say that again. Your pain and your suffering is not equivalent to who you are. And see, what happens is we build our characters. We build our personalities. We build the essence of everything that we are based off of our experiences. Do you understand? And they become a permanent position or a permanent attachment to our identities. In other words, there are people who don't know how to be themselves without having pain. They've been in it for so long. And it's a scary place to have to surrender or to feel like, okay, divine, I got you as long as you got me. And let's partner and get it done quickly and efficiently. All right? Higher vantage points can move chess pieces around. And you might not be able to see it from where you are, having to let go of something that you've invested so much in. Oh, my honey. Don't act like I don't know. Okay? I've done it more than once. And I am living proof that if you know who you are and you are really connected with the divine, this earth, this realm of existence is yours. Understand that. Disconnect and disassociate your trauma, your pain with your identity. It's not you. Take off the mask. Okay? Time to come into your own now. Divine masculines, you are supposed to operate in your logic, your analytical nature, but you're supposed to balance it with your feminine principle of love, right? And creativity. On the flip side of that, divine feminine, you're supposed to be creative and expansive and unpredictable, okay? And intuitive. Just make sure that you are balancing that with your logic and analytical nature. Only then do you achieve righteousness or righteous thinking, okay? As we continue in the Scorpio season, don't be afraid to cry. Don't be afraid to release. Don't be afraid to yell if it's necessary, okay? Not at anyone else. Okay, we're not going into Scorpio season fighting, okay? It's the last thing that you want to do. You want to go into Scorpio season healing and reflecting over your actions, your choices, your paths, your personality traits, your mentality, your ability to love. All right? It's time to heal. And so if you're experiencing devastation during this time, consider it a blessing. Remember, I told you, your reality manifests according to the way that you think. So there's going to be some of you that are going to go through the Scorpio season, these karmic lessons and all of that with the woe is me, my life is being torn apart, I'm not going to make it, I'm depressed and I'm hurt, and everything around you will reflect that. And then there's others of you who are going to go through this season of releasing and karmic and all of the trouble, and you're going to say, hallelujah, thank you. Thank you for showing me me. Thank you for letting me see what I need to work on. Thank you for showing me to stop pointing the fingers to everyone else. Thank you for showing me that I don't have to control other people or situations. It's not for me to do, because if I'm controlling, then I'm manipulating your free will, aren't I? That's a no-no. Okay, so we can't preach free will and still have a controlling type of nature. We can't do that. All right? We practice what we preach because we're doing the work. And it's very much okay to say out loud, I suffered from this situation. I had an issue with pride. I had an issue with control. I had an issue with manipulation. Okay? But it's not for you to beat yourself up over that for. It's for you to understand why. See, it's the whys that is the life lessons. Okay? It's not the behavior itself. It's why the behavior exists. And if you can get to the root of why the behavior exists, that's when you start healing. Okay? That's exactly when you start healing. And in an effort to heal others, you have to be able to heal yourself. The divine and our ancestors and angels and spirit God, whoever you work with, ascended masters, they're helping you on your journey. God is orchestrating your journey to be in alignment with what you wanted. All right? Not controlling you like a puppet. Get out of that thinking. Get out of that thinking. You have to start looking at the divine for exactly what it is. All-knowing, all-encompassing. All. Okay? The good, the bad, and the ugly. Loose the fake identity that's not serving you. Walk into your purpose and your authenticity. Learn to let go. I am Sophie, and I love you all. Bye.